Hello everyone, this is Yurgita with Magic Pond Crafts, and I'm coming to you with project that I wanna show things that I'm gonna do for Stitch 10 in 20 challenge. It's been done again by Michelle Farm Girl, and for 2020 I figured out it's gonna be, when you count in individual items, it's going to be more than 10, but I'll try to gather up some in a group because they're part of a collection. So let's start perhaps with one of the smallest ones, and I'll pull this one out of the way. So one of them is going to be this Mill Hills Jim Shore, a little chick. It's called Blue Chick, and I don't have a lot stitched on her as stitches itself, but there's gonna be beads. So this is the front, and this is the back. It still has a little bit thread in it, and I'm almost done with the cross stitching. And what you see in both parts are the spaces for the beads. It's on perforated paper that was included in the kit. So all the back stitching in the back is in the front is done, and I have a beading needle here already set to start on this guy. Well, or maybe it's a girl, I don't know. But anyway, that would be my hopefully finish in 2020 number 1. Second whip I'm hoping to finish is this hands-on design, Stitching by the Sea. She has several different sets that has a little, like a squared off cushion and mini box in it as a set. And to this moment I have only the, I think, the basket done. So it's all done, and some of them are regular DMC threads, some over dye threads, and I had this done before the beginning of the year. I haven't touched it yet, but I'm gonna have to do this and figure out how to FFO it, which is one of the hardest things for me to do, is to find a time to finish it all off. So instead of just sitting like that, like this. So that would be project number 2. And for project number 3, which I had to reprint my top page for it, is one of those prairie schooler Santas. And I'll show you what I've done last year. I'm hoping to do one Santa a year times 3. For my kids. So I've done last year one of them, which is this guy holding a Christmas tree, and I used all DMC colors. Fabric I picked, I did myself hand dyeing with the coffee and tea. It's 32 count. I think Belfast, maybe linen. So I just baked it and basted it at I remember watching Ivana, the Twisted Stitchers video, how to do that. So I've done some, and I had 3 copies. So I picked another Santa to do for this year. I still need to put here for this last year's. Like I said, FFOing is my weakness. So that would be a number 3, and it would be 3 of them. Number 4 again would be from the set, and this used to be a set of dimensions. It's called Timeless Elegance ornaments, and it's been out of print, hard to find for a long time. So this was a Chinese kit that came with everything, and I started the first one that you can see on the left, this purple heart. I've started to stitching before the end of last year, and I haven't touched it yet. And that's all you can see. So as you can see up close, it has a full stitches, it has like a half stitches, and full stitch with like a one. It's gonna have, let me show you a little bit up close. It's gonna have like a gold cording in here, and there's some beads, I believe, in that part. So there's still quite a bit of work to do, and I'm hoping to finish this heart, and I don't know if I'll be able to start actually the second ornament or not, but this for sure I want to finish this year, because I'm in the School of Magical Stitches and Literature group. I try to do all my homework and help open different parks, so I never know what kind of project I can use for them. That's why it was hard to pick which ones I would finish for sure. Of course you can do like a penalty stitches there, but it's way more stitching, and I always try to find something that would go with the theme that needed. So anyway, at least this first ornament, I'd like to finish it. I know I'm not gonna be able to do the whole series in this year, but that's what I have. And I have this with the tacks and this frame stretcher bars, and that's just enough to fill in this ornament. So that was what, number 4, I believe, or 5. Anyway, next one. So the next one, number 5, in the sort of by itself, sort of not, is this Mr. Baron Von Bat by Blackberry Lane Designs. And this guy comes stitched in 2 parts and put it together. So you have a front and you have a back side. And I'll show you what I have right now as of this moment. I was already able to use it this year for one of the assignments. So what I have is worked partially this bat wing of him. And as you can see from his right side, the wing is not gonna be fully stitched. So there's some sporadic stitches left in this one, but it's harder to stitch because it's a 36 count Haunted Edinburgh by Picture This Plus, and so the holes are harder to see because it shrank even a little bit more. And I can stitch only certain time of the day on this, and it's with dark colors, so that it's a little bit more work. But I'm hoping to finish front and fully back, and I still have what, almost 9 months left to do this. So probably would have to get cranking on this guy, and there's gonna be I believe I'll put in beads, black beads for the eye holes in there. So that would be with Mr. Baron, and I'll pull out the next one. Number 6 on my list is this design. It's called the Beer Dragon, and it's very cute, and I'm stitching on 32 count black Belfast, sort of like what it looks like in the picture. And there's lots of back stitching gonna need to be done, and I'm not fully done with him or her, and I'll show you what in comparison to picture I have. So as you can see, let me grab something. According to like a picture, I've done all the bottom all the way up to like almost like this line where I guess the top of the poured beer is, or maybe it's like a foam, and done most of the back stitching on the tail that's holding here, and pretty much all of this wing is done. So there's still more back stitching gonna be here, and as you can see in those like a wheat parts is gonna be lots of those stitching done, and the head itself, all those scales is gonna be lots of work to do. It's gonna be challenged to make it nice and pretty, and overall it just so cute. You just want to grab it and snuggle up with him and pet his head or her head. Sometimes I think it's a boy, sometimes I think it's a girl, like a child, because it would fit, or it's like a midget type mini dragon. But anyway, so we still left to do all those little things and a little bit more cross stitching to finish that part off. So I have 3 more dragons, siblings I guess, of different type, waiting in the background, backstage, kind of saying who's gonna be picked next, who's gonna be picked next. So that's fun. The pattern itself is 137 by 146, and that's my planned finish for 2020. Let's grab the next one. And number 7 is this like a rat ball ornament. I started this on the first day of this year because it's a rat here, and never done this way ornament, so it's gonna be something totally new, challenging. It's not easy gonna be to put all the pieces together and stuff it and make it as nice and round as it looks in here. And it has 20 colors and 9 blends. I bought it online. This is the company Rinka Z Stitch Home, and hoping to do more ornaments. Hopefully they'll have a yearly ones. They have like a Mary Poppins and the Earth and some with the flowers, but like a dog too, but I wanted to do yearly ornament. And since I started this year, I was kind of going at it, as you can see in a second. Still quite a bit to do. I think I'm about halfway done according to program. So you can see what I meant by putting it all together. I haven't finished the bottom, but bottom is also going to be like a triangle shape. And all of this will need to be, of course, finished stitching, finish all the back stitching, because back stitching is what it gives the character. Like you can see these creatures here and there is like a totally different looking because of back stitching and whiskers, and oh, just look at that cutie and just happy cheese eating, and sort of like from Ratatouille. And this one is just looking and say yeah, what next? So it just drew my attention first time I saw it, and I said yes, I wanted this one. So it will all be then need to be cut out all around, and then sew it all together and then stuffed. And yeah, that's like I said, my weakness is to FFOing, and this is not going to be super easy. And all the bottom is going to be this red with some dots when you put it all together. And you can see some ornaments and cheese parts up in that tree, I guess. This is the top view, and this is the bottom view of the whole ornament. So that's would be what, my number 7, I believe. So yeah, still quite a bit to go, and the time is ticking, so I would have to get these guys done too. And number 8, I believe, in my list is this witch. I started this also, I believe, in the January sometime. Anyway, it's this year, and I already stitched 2 of same designer's witches as a model stitching, and this one too, she gave it to me to do that, and we picked together the fabric color from the choices that I had. So we did some exchange. It's again a Russian designer. You can see Lady D, and I'm stitching her on I believe 32 some kind of picture disc plus fabric. I can't remember exact name. I did not write it down right away, but that's what I have so far. So comparing with picture, there's still quite a bit to do, but the whole top up to her like a waistline is fully done and backstitched. Some of those shiny like a stars were regular crosses. That's a lot of was, let me show you closer, a lot of it was French knots. You can kind of see shining through in front of my light background. So it's French knots and lots of back stitching, and there's a French knots in the hat, French knots on her outfit. So texture wise it's full of fun, and some stars done here. So it's a lot of back stitching to do and French knotting to do, but that's what it brings out, three-dimension view of her. And what you see up to the line is where I stopped. So there's still a lot of her, a lot of her to do. Like hair is gonna need to be also backstitched, but there's a stick that I already started, and then there's the rest of the jacket and her shoes, and it will be outlined also. So her leg was just now, that's where the that sock booth is started, is right here. But I'm stitching 2 over 2, and that's what I'm planning to finish, hopefully in the month of April, to the end of April, because she is the May night witch, or witch of May night. So I'd like to have her done to enjoy her throughout the whole month of May. We'll see how this works out, because there's another whole grouping of things that has a limited time to do it, kind of challenge attached to it, and I'll show you in a second what it's gonna be. Ta-da! Magic of technology, right? So these are the series of dragons. It's sort of like a free sale that one of the Russian designers offered. I had to sign up, and then we were given a thread list for this first guy. The whole series is called, when translated, it's like a 1 year from a life of dragons. And this one is April Dragon, and we could choose to look that as a full ornament, which means it had that ornamental little tab top, and it had a string and sort of like a tag that says April. And we also could choose to have it just like a regular circle, which is just a few extra stitches off, but I wanted to do just a circle. So we had, after given the list of threads for this guy, we had to send her a picture with the threads and the fabric showing that we're ready to stitch. And pictures cannot, all of the pictures cannot be like, you know, I'm just finished, it's all wrinkled up, and just took a picture of whatever way. She wanted to look a little bit nicer with some thoughts in it, you know, so it wouldn't be, we wouldn't be ashamed to show it, kind of thing. But she sent first the pattern without the backstitch. That's why this cutie looks a little bit washed out. And that's what I've been working in the past few 3 days, I believe. So compared to like my hand is a pretty big size. It's, I think, stitch wise is like a 67 by 65 or something. So it's not exact perfect circle, but I'm almost done. So as you can see, I still have a thread that I have to fill in with the half stitch all of this, and then we'll have to send in a picture and what we've done, and then we'll get the pattern with just the back stitching of this guy. So it shouldn't be that much back stitching, but still it's gonna be a bit, because you have a little kind of like a boat in here, and all around the eyes, and there's like a sailor's hat and something in here. I don't know. I don't think it's butterflies, but it's April, so it's a little bit greenery happening here, so it's gonna be cute to see when it's done. But we have to have it all done by the end of each month if we want to have that as a free sale. Otherwise you can just purchase all of those patterns from her. And I wanted to try the free sale if I can, and I'm born in a dragon year, so I love dragons, and that's what it's gonna be looking. So I had this fabric 32 count off-white Ada, and it was kind of perfect in width, that I had the piece left over, like a thin and a long one from my other projects, full coverage, and it's just enough to kind of fit two of them with a little bit in between fabric, the width-wise. So it's going to be lengthwise. I still have all, you know, this rolled up kind of thing. So I'm hoping to finish this today and post it to her. And so yeah, so by the end of the year, by the December 31st, I should have 9 of these little dragons done out of 12. So that's would be my number 9. And it came out as the number 9 in my list of 10 in 20 challenge. And for the end, I left my biggest and oldest whip, and I'll show you in a second. And ta-ta-ta-ta, it was a little surprise for me. When I was doing my yearly plans, I was not counting to have this in my want to finish this year list, but in the beginning of the year, I had a few challenges that I could use this for in my School of Magical, magical school, homework and assignments, and I just couldn't stop, and I kept going at it. And really the apps, like a pattern keeper, really helps versus going with the paper version, and it just sucked me into this space. If you don't recognize, is scene from a Doctor Who TV show that's been going on for many years, and it's his or her phone booth. And as of this moment, I have just over 2,000 stitches left out of the whole thing. Although it's mini, you can see the size 337 by 198. Although it's mini, but it's still quite a bit of work needed. And I'll show you a little bit to the top. You can see all the way to the top, so you can see actually full width, and compared to my hand, so it has a cry neck in places, and what I have left, and I had to stop to kind of get on different other whips. It's also going to have a little bit more cry neck left to do. I started but didn't finish. And what got me even more excited is I'm already taking out threads from my organizer. So I pick a thread that's not the not the most, and I stitch throughout the whole piece in here until it's all done, and then I can take the thread off my organizer. So it's extra, sort of like a boost for me to finish even faster, even more this piece. So when you can see those threads disappearing from organizer, it's just this like euphoria. And I don't know how I'm gonna feel when I actually finish this, because as I said, this is my oldest whip. I started in I think December of 2016. So it's been a few years been going on. For a long time I actually had it set aside, and it wasn't touched for a long time. I think I couldn't find pages that I had it printed out and marked, so I didn't want to start again new and find somewhere where I had to mark again those pages. So with the program, and I use my phone, I don't have a you know, like tablets to use it with, but I'm using my phone, which is fine to use, and just started using program, and then the work just flew by, and it was encouragement to stitch even more now. And when I had to put this down, I really didn't want to the last time, but I'm happy this week I can put in 500 at least stitches in this as part of my homework exercise, so that's gonna encourage me to go faster. And then I am hoping to have this finished stitching by the mid-year point. So even though it looks like a tiny piece, it's still it has a mix of colors and the acrylic. So that would be my project number 10, and my biggest. I have of course I'm gonna have several whips that also big full coverage, and there's no way I can finish them this year. So there's going to be a quite smack of smaller ones and medium-sized ones in my list of 10, and the grouping, which I grouped as the one. So we'll see if I can do it all, because I also want to have a lot of whips that I want to put a dent in. And I guess all I could say at the end is I'm wishing myself luck, and hope you wish me luck too. And if you like the video, click a like, and stay as a subscriber. And please don't hesitate to put the comments, and which ones of all of my 10 whip list would you like to see finished first. Maybe that would then push me towards working on that project sooner. Or you could guess which I would finish first. That will be interesting to see at the end of the year. How many of you answered the closest to my top 3 soonest, fastest finished whips? So I think that's it. And I want to wish you all staying healthy, and hope your stitchy frogs don't visit you. And until the next time, bye-bye.